Hello, I'm E100 class. Today I'm going to be giving you a brief tutorial on how to create an engineering drawing for your coaster. So right now we're in the design tab and we're going to want to go to drawing from design, hit OK. And here is the paper that we're going to be working on. So essentially we're going to create a couple projected views and dimension them. So right now it wants me to place a face view, which this view is essentially the z-axis, the z-axis of my coaster. So it's kind of like the edge view. But instead I'd rather have the top. So we're going to go to orientation over here in the sidebar and click on top. And right here is a top-down view of my coaster. But instead I want this to be a little bigger. It's kind of small and want the fill of paper a little better. So I'm going to make it scale to 1 to 2.5 and place it about right here. It's not super important where things are placed at. Main thing is that you have room for the projected views, which is the next step here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up here to projected view, click on a parent view, which is this view right here, create an edge view, and create an isometric view, which is kind of like a 3D look at coaster. So from here, we're going to start dimensioning. So all the dimensioning tools are in this tab here, but mainly we're just going to use the dimension button. So we're just going to click on a line, drag it down a little bit, and create a dimension. I recommend, especially for these outer dimensions, to kind of get them out of the way so you have more room for everything else and things aren't getting as bunched up. So just kind of going to go about dimensioning everything, being mindful of what actually needs a dimension and not dimensioning the same exact thing 4 times in 4 different places. Like taste these fillets right here. You know, they're all the same all the way around. I only need to mention one of them. I'm just going to keep on going. It's pretty simple, just a matter of clicking around, make sure you don't miss anything. Getting it nice and accurate. So I believe the only thing we have left are these stars in here, which luckily share the same dimensions, besides, or for the 4 edges of the same dimension, but these 2 top pieces are different. So I'll make things easier, keep things a little bit cleaner. Just got those ones, and then now we're going to move on to this. You can always move these numbers kind of inside the guides. Cleans things up just a little bit, depending on the situation. Oops, I clicked the right line there. There. Do that. Now the last thing we have left is to create an angle. So I'm going to click the dimension tab, go to angular dimension, from here to here. Give you the interior angle or the exterior angle, depending on the way you move your mouse. So I want the interior angle, go to there. And then I also want the area or the angle for down here. Same thing. Boom. Same deal over here. The down angle there. Get the interior angle there. Oops. There we are. Alright. Now we have everything. It's a little messy for my particular taste, but the point comes across. It's just a matter of you working on it to try to make sure everything's cleaned up. And so the next part is we have this edge view. So essentially the edge view is most useful for knowing the thickness of our stock, which is 1/4 inch, and knowing the depth of cut. So since I have a different kind of cuts, the Laguna needs to know how deep these cuts are. So I need to make sure that these cuts are dimensioned for anyone who may potentially want to recreate this in the future. They need to know how deep to make the Laguna cut. So the way we do that is for this main part of the stock, we can just dimension the 2 edges and it'll give us the dimension. But for in here, we need to worry about these hidden lines. So these hidden lines are like these little dashes here, and then these little boxes come up. So this is the cut itself. So this cut right here corresponds to this right here. that goes all the way around. So you can see how it goes from the top, and it goes all the way to the bottom, and since these are in line, they should line up perfectly. So we just dimension this part here, should be 0.06, and then the next cut comes in down here, so you can see it where this next cut comes in, dimension there, and then there's one more cut that goes even deeper right here. So you have that and dimension that as well. And then you see you can follow these dimension or these lines all the way down, these hidden lines, and see that this 0.8 is literally, or 0.18 is the farthest out, because you can see this dash goes all the way down, 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 keeps following, keeps following, keeps following, and it drops off, and then the next cut, and then the last cut that goes all the way around the edge. So after that, you should have everything nice and dimensioned. And the last part is the units. So you might be wondering how to do that. So you go to the document settings. You can go to dimension units right here. Click on change dimension units, and it'll pop up a side tab here. Now in here, simple as it is, go to 0/units, and you click inches, and you hit OK. And that'll change every single dimension into inches. It'll put the label on there. Now also in the same tab, what you can do is you can mess with the line width. So if you want the lines to be a little wider, you can do that within here. You can also, for text, change the size. So if you go text height group and you go to custom, it'll allow you to edit the different types of text. So if you have large text, medium text, small text, you can edit the font size for those. I'm just going to leave mine for right now at, I believe, medium. And another option, let's just say you think leaving the inches on there makes it too crowded. So maybe instead of doing inches, what you could do is you can go make a text box. So you go text here, and you can make a text box within this title block down here, and say something like all dimensions are in inches. This essentially gives a heads up to whoever's looking at it, just kind of know like, hey, these dimensions are in a particular unit, in this case inches, if you don't want to include them directly on your drawing. Also with this title block, you can edit it. So if you don't want this to be called admin project for whatever reason, you can change this project name to something like Subaru Coaster or whatever you fancy. And then whenever you get done editing the title block, you can just hit finish properties. So now you have your wonderful engineering drawing, and you want to export it as a PDF. So you come up here to PDF right here, hit export PDF, open PDF. You want to select that box just to make sure everything looks good, because it's going to immediately pull open your engineering drawing as a PDF. Then you can go whatever folder you prefer, give it a name. I'm just going to call this Subaru example, and hit save. And then immediately should pull open the PDF of the engineering drawing. From here, you can just kind of check to make sure everything's good, make sure everything's dimensioned, and ensure the units are there. But other than that, that should give you a good idea of how to create an engineering drawing. So hopefully this helped, and I thank you very much for watching, and have a good day.